On this week's edition of the Overtime, we'll talk about NEU's football's historic victory. Speaking of football, we'll also discuss Cocoa High's first win and Flag High's crazy win last week. Finally, we'll get into NEU volleyball and its rough start to the season. Hello and welcome to the Overtime, Northern Arizona's only sports show. I'm your host, Brenden Martin, joining sports reporter Cameron Richardson. Cam, are you finally ready to talk some sports?
Brenden, it's been too long, my friend. Let's get into it.
Yes, it has. Let's get right into it. The talk of the town this week has been NEU football, as it did the unthinkable last weekend, beating the Arizona Wildcats in Tucson 21-19. Cam, I was there, but what did you think about this crazy result?
Well, Brenden, after a sour start to the season for the Lumberjacks, Saturday night saw a complete 180 twirl for NEU football as they became the fourth Big Sky team to score a victory over an FBS opponent this season. However, I'd say this is the biggest of the four as NEU took out an in-state rival, which could draw prospective recruits to Flagstaff. It was also NEU's first victory over the Wildcats since 1932. NEU got key performances from senior linebacker Harrison B. Miller, who collected 4.5 tackles for loss and forced a fumble. Grad student DJ Arnton had some awe-inspiring punts to pin Arizona deep in their territory. B. Miller earned Big Sky Defensive Player of the Week, while Arnton earned Big Sky Special Teams Player of the Week. NEU was also named FCS Team of the Week. So Brenden, I'd say it's dark times for the Pac-12 Conference. What do you think?
The Pac-12 certainly has had its fair share of struggles. This win for NEU seems to put the program on the map. NEU is now 1-2 on the season as it heads into conference play. The Lumberjacks will finish their 3-game road trip in Greeley, Colorado against the Northern Colorado Bears. We'll see if freshman quarterback RJ Martinez gets the chance to shine once again after coming off the bench to help pull off the upset over Arizona. Sticking with football, Flagstaff and Coconino High Schools have gotten off to good starts as well. With the Flagstaff Eagles starting off 3-0, they seem to be making a run at the 4A state title. Cameron, how have the Eagles managed to have a start like this?
Well, Brenden, I was present for the game, calling the first half for KJAC Radio. The Flagstaff Eagles couldn't have remained undefeated in a more dramatic fashion. Seriously, not even the Cohen brothers could craft a script comparable to what occurred at the Walkup Skydome last Friday evening. Flagstaff struggled through the first half and was getting marauded by Mingus senior running back Angelo Alvarez, who scored 5 touchdowns, which included 2 kickoff returns. The Eagles even trailed by scores of 28-7 and 35-14 before a miraculous comeback led by senior quarterback Bodie Meyer and junior wide receiver Jake Weidinger. The duo connected on a touchdown late in the fourth to draw even with Mingus, before finding each other again on the game-winning touchdown with seconds to go. Flag gambled with an onside kick that they recovered to set up the final drive. The Eagles went on to win 49-42 in a game that will be talked about in the high country for years to come. I don't know about you, Brenden, but the Eagles continue to make Flagstaff no country for marauders.
The Flagstaff Eagles are certainly raising Arizona to new heights with wins against Camelback, Washington, and now Mingus. They look ahead to their first road trip at the top of the hour when they travel to Phoenix to take on the 2-1 Thunderbird Titans. You can listen along on Calf Country 93.5 AM 930 radio or online at calflegends.com, where I will be sideline reporting at the game. Now, moving very quickly to Cocoa High, after having their first game of the season against the Cactus Cobras canceled due to COVID-19 protocols, the Panthers finally got to play its first game last Friday against Cactus Shadow Falcons and won in a nail-biter 26-24. Jonathan Harmillo, who played in his first game since being involved in a major car accident a year ago, led the Panthers to victory, running for 119 yards on 14 carries. They head south to Tempe to take on the 2-1 Marcos Deniza Padres. We wish them luck and safe travels. When we return, we'll switch back to NEU sports and talk volleyball. Don't go anywhere.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab,
I knew
a
it.
car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Finally, let's get into some volleyball. Much like other NEU teams, volleyball has gotten off to a bit of a rough start, beginning the season 0-4 before finally pulling off a win in its opener of the Lumberjack Classic against UC Davis. Sports reporter Frank Espinoza analyzes the team's experience so far.
NAU women's volleyball kicked off their season with the Lumberjack Classic. The Lumberjacks played both UC Davis and ASU in the tournament. Junior Taylor Jacobson, who is ranked second in the league in kills for the spring, Jacobson managed to get 15 kills in their match against UC Davis.
UC Davis was a great matchup, I feel like. They were a very physical team. Honestly, ASU too, very, very physical. And with ASU being from the Pac-12, I think it was super fun to see how we could hold up against them.
NAU won their first game with a score of 66-46, but their tough game against ASU ended in a loss.
UC Davis was a great matchup, I feel like. They were a very physical team. Honestly, ASU too, very, very physical. And with ASU being from the Pac-12, I think it was super fun to see how we could hold up against them, just because Pac-12 is a bigger conference. But I think kind of with the UC Davis win, seeing like we can battle with these teams and we can come out successful if we just do what we do every single day in practice.
What's unique about this season's team is that 12 of the 13 players from last season are returning. This is what Jacobson says makes the team work.
Yesterday, we were actually having a meeting talking about how nice it is to have a team that's as close as we are and being able to take advantage of our friendships both on and off the court. And I think that really reflects in how we play.
Because of last season's tough COVID restrictions, fans weren't allowed to attend games. Taylor says she's excited to welcome fans back.
It feels great. We talked about that all the time last year, how unfortunate it was for the freshmen last year to not have that experience. And I think having home court advantage again is just so nice, and it makes it so much more fun.
Although the preseason has had a rocky start with a standing of 2-7, Jacobson says she's eager to turn this season around.
Feeling really good, actually. I know we've had a really tough preseason, but I think we've done a lot of growing, and I'm super excited to continue to see our freshmen grow because they're super, super good, and I think they're following along in our team dynamic really well. And I think we're really starting to piece together everything, and it's going to start flowing here really good really soon.
Now, NEU volleyball is getting into the spirit of October just a tad too early, as this season has been a nightmare so far. What used to be a squad that was perennial contenders to win the Big Sky and compete in the NCAA tournament is now one that looks to be taking a step back as unforced errors continue to haunt the Lumberjacks. NEU had their first chance since 2019 to show off their skills to the fans, and they disappointed by only winning 1 of 3 matches. In the premier match against in-state rival Arizona State, the Lumberjacks had opportunities to win, but 15 serving errors would prevent the squad from scoring the upset in front of a packed Roll Activity Center. Maybe, just maybe, NEU can turn it around when Big Sky Conference play begins. But Brenden, I'm not liking the prospects of that.
All right, admittedly the season hasn't been going great for volleyball, with 3 games already being canceled. 2 due to Hurricane Ida at the Tiger Classic in LSU, as well as COVID protocols with the Louisiana Raging Cajuns at the SFA tournament. But there is a lot of promise going forward. A bright spot for this team has been sophomore outside hitter Lila Hollis. Hollis made the all-tournament team when NEU went down to Stephen F. Austin to play in the SFA tournament. She also had a career run that culminated in the Lumberjack Classic. In the win against UC Davis, she had a career-high 22 kills, beating her previous record that she set in the last match. She also put up 20 kills against ASU the following match. She only played in 1 set in the loss against New Mexico back on Saturday. The 2-7 Lumberjacks opened their conference schedule against the 3-6 Idaho Vandals last night, with results yet to come at the time of recording. NAU will remain at home to take on the Eastern Washington Eagles on Sunday at noon. After the break, sports reporter Tyler Murphy will give us a rundown on what's coming up across the sporting world in northern Arizona.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Does your family need a break from the daily routine?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. If you or someone you know needs a healthy dose of nature, visit discovertheforest.org and trade in the big screen for the big blue sky by visiting a local park or forest near you.
Hiking, picnicking, swimming, orienteering, climbing, admiring wildlife, or inhaling fresh air may result in heightened creativity, feelings of joy, harmony, satisfaction, and a euphoria that can only be explained as oneness with the natural world. Whoa.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple? Chop the
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
Welcome back to the Overtime. I'm your weekend reporter, Tyler Murphy, bringing what's to come this weekend in northern Arizona sports as the fall season is starting to hit its stride. The Flagstaff High Eagles football team is off to a hot start of 3-0 this season. The first two games both ended in dominant performances from the Eagles. In their last game, just edging out the Mingus Marauders by only 7 points, coming in the fourth quarter, where they outscored the Marauders by 14 to secure the lead and to come out with the win. The Eagles are on the road tonight against the Phoenix Thunderbirds and must win to keep their undefeated season rolling along. Setting up for the NAU Athletics on the weekend, we have Lumberjack women's volleyball facing Eastern Washington Eagles on Saturday at noon. The Lumberjacks are off to a hard start as their records stand a minimal 2-7, but are hoping to turn it around heading into Big Sky Conference play. Swinging it over to NAU women's soccer, the Lumberjacks have a record of 2-7 entering Big Sky Conference play. The Jacks had a rocky start to the season playing strong teams, but are looking to get hot as they have won their last 2 games by a combined score of 8-0. Out of the 8, 3 were scored by sophomore Maddie Schaefer. The Lumberjacks are set to play the Montana Grizzlies tonight, and they have an afternoon game against the Northern Colorado Bears at 1 p.m. Sunday. Both games are set to play at home in Lumberjack Stadium. Well, that's it for Northern Arizona sports for the weekend. Back to you at the desk, Brenden.
Thanks, Tyler. And thank you all for joining us for our first show of the season. There's a lot going on for NAU as conference play rolls around across all sports. For our sports reporters, Cameron Richardson, Frank Espinoza, and Tyler Murphy, I'm Brenden Martin, and we'll see you next Friday at 6:15 for our next edition of The Overtime.